Okay, we're getting ready to do another live broadcast here, and this time it looks like we're about a minute early. Imagine that. So let me see if I can pull this up on the iPad so that, as usual, I can monitor everything there. And let's see here. Yes, audio sounds good. Stig is in the house, and he's from Denmark. He's coming in to hold down the fort, and he was in at 4:57 p.m., so he was in a couple minutes early hanging out. And we'll see if some others pop in here. And in the meantime, I'm pulling up my email on the computer to see. I've got a few photos that were sent in. Let's see. Somebody wants to sell a couple of dulcimers. They sent me an email. Those are hard to sell. I sold a couple of them for my parents, and those are not easy to sell to get decent money. They were really, really gorgeous dulcimers, but they're not easy to sell. Carlos is in the house, and he says hello to Craig and all, and Blue says hello, and Carlos says hello to Blue. Lance is in the house. Scene is in the house. He says hello from London town. How are things in London? Give us a report. Give us an update from London. And let's see here. I got an email from Bioserve. And this is an email. This is a YouTube video. So let me open this up and see what we got. We'll do this live on the channel.
Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmasso@thewatchbox.com.
A video by the Timster.
Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch
I'm not
you see here on our
a
channel.
fan of these
Email
dials where you can see the guts and all that. It makes it so it's not a very legible watch. I don't get the point of all that. People like it, but I would rather have just a gorgeous looking dial.
It is the platinum
But interesting piece. So if you all want to check that out, that's a recent video by the Timster. Watchbox. Check that puppy out. And of course I would want yellow gold anyway, so that would be a no-fly zone for the Craigster, but some other people might like that. Thurston Howell III is in the house, and Leon says, good evening, folks. And David Williams is saying hello to Carlos, and I'm sure the others. And Greg is in the house. David Lee is in the house. Lockdown in London. Let us know what's going on in London. Give us an update. We want updates from around the world. And by the way, today Kyle is supposed to call in. Hopefully he will do that from the field. And he's going to give us a live report from Venice. Hopefully that will happen. Let me go back to my email here because I have a photo from David to show. And I will pull this up. And let me zoom in a little bit so we can get, well, if I zoom in, it gets, there it goes. That's not too bad. All right, so there is the 005 Stunner. If you would have put a little more of an angle on that, you might have been able to, oh, you wanted, I guess, that reflection from the sky in there. I see the clouds in there. Maybe that's what you were trying to do. That's okay. That'll work. But I'll tell you, those NATOs with the big lump on the side like that, I don't know. I don't get it. Seems like it can be caught on things and so forth. I like a strap that's a little closer to the wrist than that. And some NATOs are better at that sort of thing than others. So, yeah, we'd have to think about that one. But thanks for sending in the photo. My car at the moment is doing 4 weeks to the gallon. Blue's emailing a photo. Good. And Eduardo says Atlantic Canada is still locked down, and there was a mass shooting last week in Nova Scotia. Well, wow. I wonder what that was all about. Carlos says nice photo for David. Yes. Drink a little H2O, do a quick time check. Coming up on 5 minutes after the hour. A few specks on that crystal. I didn't clean it off. I just gave it a quick little hit with a microfiber, but Should have put some H2O on it and cleaned it properly, but sometimes we're in a hurry. NATOs are fine. Yeah, I think it depends on the NATO and how it goes to the wrist. Some of them are better than others. And also, traditionally, they have a part of the strap that goes behind the watch that makes the watch thicker. So I'm not a big fan of that either. I had that gas bone strap that was really cool, but adds thickness to the watch. So yeah, not my cup of tea. Stig's in the house. I've heard that things are pretty bad in England. Please do report. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a report. And by the way, there is some more good news coming out that the death rate on this thing is much lower than they originally said, 10 to 20 times lower. So that is good news for anybody that lives on the face of this earth, that the rate of folks that die that actually get it is considerably lower than the experts claimed it would be. I'm shocked to find that experts actually turned out to be clueless. We see that in the watch community too, don't we? Don't we see experts, folks that are touted as experts, that just make silly errors when they're talking about watches? I mean, errors of fact, and sometimes they also have a marginal opinion. Sometimes they actually will try to get you to buy an ugly watch, these experts. They'll actually show an ugly watch and try to get you to buy it. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine how that works? They work for me, says David Williams. There you go. Well, a lot of people love the NATO straps. Yeah. So, RWAGs, hi Chip. Hi everybody. Our corporate president just sent an email today to all employees about going the back to work plan coming in the next couple of weeks. Things are going to be happening soon. I guess you meant going back to work. Okay. Well, we'll see. We will see. The market, I guess, was down again today, RWAGs. And so I'm still sitting on the sideline. I have to tell you, I've got significant cash on the sideline. And I think there are going to be some buying opportunities, if not in the stock market, with local real estate and other things, because there's a lot of blood in the street. There are a lot of issues. I'll put it that way. A lot of issues, and some people are going to be strapped for cash. And when that happens, sometimes there are some buying opportunities. Not that I would take advantage of other people's misfortune, but sometimes that's how it works. Sometimes they want the cash, right? And if they're willing to sell a piece of real estate for significantly less than it's worth because they need cash fast, sometimes it's okay to give them the cash and take over that real estate, because you're taking risk, right? If you buy a piece of real estate, hey, the price, it could go down even more, right? Anything can happen. So that's how that all works. David's in the house, and it seems we have found the cure for pneumonia. It's called C19. They are classifying a lot of deaths as this thing. So yeah, the death rates for all kinds of other diseases like high blood pressure, heart attack, stroke, a lot of the death rates for a lot of things, even suicides, the death rates, you would think it would be going up, right? But I think they even classify those as the thing. I think they're classifying pretty much anybody that dies now, they're dying of the thing, because, of course, they want more federal money and all that kind of thing. That's how it works. Triforce Rich is in the house. Carlos, I'm going to put some rum on a crystallized silicate vessel on top of a cubic piece of solid, whatever that is. Okay, they can read it for themselves. And our WAG says hi to David. We're almost to the skate park, calling in a few minutes. Kyle in the house, he's going to give a live report from the skate park. I hope the authorities don't grab him and drag him away. We'll see how that works. This is going to be very interesting. A live report, just so you guys know, to bring you up to date. In Venice, California, there's a beautiful skate park on the beach that they had constructed out of concrete. Beautiful, beautiful thing. And a week or so ago, they took a skid loader and they loaded it up with sand so that the kids couldn't use it. There's a video that went kind of viral on social media. Didn't want the kids using the skate park. So there you go. Report from London. Our politicians think they're scientists and our scientists think they're politicians. Imagine that. How long before the public decides it had enough? Not long, I suspect. Vulnerable people need to stay home. The rest of us have to get back to work. Well, there's some logic coming into the discussion. Stig's in the house. The fuel price is down. Good if you are driving a Cadillac or Chrysler Imperial, not if you have a Toyota. Yeah, if you've got like a 1964 Chrysler Imperial LeBaron with dual air conditioning, front and rear air conditioning, that's a good one. And I'll tell you what, my 68 Bonneville Brougham 4-door hardtop that had the 428, factory 428 with dual exhaust, that thing loved fuel. On a good day, that got 8 miles to the gallon. On a really good day. Brianna says hello. Carlos is in the house. Brianna, they're going to call in from Venice Beach soon, a live report. Stay tuned. This is going to be exciting. And brief a glass of rum on the rocks. Okay, not all Toyota. I have a V6 300 horsepower Camry that gets 4 miles. I won't say the word, but 4 miles per gallon. I'll tell you, a Land Cruiser likes to suck fuel too. Toyota Land Cruiser. They're not a sipper. Carlos in the house says hello to Bree. Our Wags is Kyle Jet in Venice, California or Florida? It's California. It's going to be Venice Beach in California. It's going to be a live report. Let's see here. You are too clever, Carlos. I figured it out. Okay, our Wags. Seems like the thing is hitting areas hard that are controlled by Democrats. I guess those open borders aren't looking so good now. Yeah, and those of us that don't want to live in big cities like piled on top of each other and like crammed in the subway every day going to and fro and all, those of us that decide to kind of pass on that, turns out that might have been a good lifestyle decision. But again, even the death rate in Manhattan is very low, the number of people that are actually dying from this compared to the number that actually have it. Millions most likely had it. And so the death rate is actually very, very low, about the same as the flu. So there you go. Let's see. Refit Dance, I bought the book on how to be nice, but unfortunately it is not working for me. I have to just keep making more money and working on my body to look like Chip Wong. There you go. Triforce Rich in the house is going to, hey, accumulate Bitcoin. That's what gets the chicks. The chicks love Bitcoin. Bree, let us know in the chat. Which do you like more, cash, U.S. dollars, or Bitcoin? Which would you rather have? Let us know in the chat, Bree. We'll do an unscientific poll here of the lovely Brianna and see what she would rather have, Bitcoin or U.S. dollars. Let's see. You are making big progress considering yesterday's show. Thanks, Carlos. Appreciate that. Try in the house. Little Treasury Jewelers are in the house, and we're going to have a live report from Venice Beach, California here shortly. So while we're waiting on that, we're going to check a few of the tabs here that I had. And let's see here what we had. A few of these surplus tabs I'm closing out. Oh, here's one that was a Grand Seiko Stunner. We had that one in a tab. Somebody asked about that SBGH 269 limited edition. I don't know if those are still around. Steve could let us know in the chat, or whoever from Little Treasury is in the house, they could let us know. And there's Brianna's homepage. And let's see what the next tab is here. And we talked about the bag. All right, we'll go ahead and close that one out. I'm just going through some tabs here while I'm waiting for Kyle and them to call. And here's the messenger bag video that I made.
So without further ado, let me start unpacking
messenger
this bag.
video. I'm also going to roll in some
So
photos.
we can close that out. We don't need that anymore. Just give me time here because I mean, I've got like 40 tabs here open. But I like to review these from time to time. Oh, here's that high dollar dress watch. Here's that upscale dress watch that Grand Seiko has that somebody suggested that I look at. The high beat one. That's a stunner too. Absolute stunner. Limited edition piece. And let's see what we got here. No, that was a date 8 that we looked at the other day. Date 8. We looked at on Chrono 24. Okay, the phone is ringing. Let's answer Kyle. Let's answer Kyle. And give me a second, Kyle. Let me get you full screen.
Hello.
And then I can get the headset on. Just give me a moment.
Oh.
Okay, you all are live. Okay, so let us know what's going on.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, so,
Yes.
well, we're here, and I know you can see us. Let me flip this around here.
Okay.
So here we are,
Mm-hmm.
and this is just some shots of the boardwalk, and as you can see, the gate there, everything is pretty much closed for the most part.
Gotcha.
Here, a couple restaurants, and then right behind us, as Leslie's walking forward, is the skate park there, and it's caution taped off too.
Well, how close can you get?
Well, I'm gonna go as close as I can. I see some people there.
Okay. Yeah, let's head on down there.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk on over now.
Hey, can Leslie jog?
Yeah.
Yes, I
Let
can.
me
yes.
see you jog down to the skate path. Let's see how quick you can get down there and
Jog
back.
Get down there.
Down there and back. I want to see how quickly she can do this. Oh,
Okay,
she's
so
already wore out. Uh-oh, she only jogged that far.
You're not running anymore. What are you doing?
I'm tired.
She said she's too tired, Craig.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. All right, well, we
Okay.
got to
I had a
get...
long morning.
Okay, so she's been exercising already then. Okay, we'll give her... So now here's these folks. They're on skateboards right here.
Yeah, this is the old park.
Okay.
This is the old skate park.
And so
Before they built the new one.
So it's still open, the old one.
No worries. Yeah, no, the old one is still open for the most part.
Well,
but
actually,
there's not much.
it looks like there was some tape there and they took it down.
Yeah, it looks about that way. Yeah, but the old area is really small. This
Yeah.
is what existed.
All right, so
early
show us the
That's-
shoot. I wasn't showing the screen. I'm sorry. I am now. Okay. I thought I had
There's
you
the
on, but I
remnants
didn't.
of the old graffiti pit that they did the same thing with. They filled it with sand so people wouldn't be able to skateboard there. But then they at least built us this, which they've now filled this with sand too.
Oh, wait a minute now. Back up. They had another one over there to the left, and they filled it up?
Yeah, they filled that one up back in maybe 2003 or 4, something like that.
Why did they do that?
Well, that one wasn't built as a skate park. It was supposed to be a sitting area and just kind of...
So people were misusing it.
Yeah, they graffitied it all up, and now it's a relic, so they did keep some of it,
Okay.
Check this guy out.
top portion of it hasn't been buried.
Okay.
He's ripping the caution tape. He's mad.
Now, though, as we can see, this guy here, he's actually ripping.
Yeah, he was probably the one that took it down at that other place. Okay,
Check it
so
out. Look at.
so
Walk on
so
up, though, so we can get a good
yeah, get on up there up top the hill
vantage
there.
point.
He's just ripping the caution tape. He
Yeah.
doesn't care.
Yeah, he's a rebel. He's a rebel.
Yes, he is.
No, he's seriously.
All right, now wait. Where you're standing now, is that all normally not filled? Oh, now we're looking at the skate park.
Yeah, so
Okay.
this is essentially what they've done here is
They
caution
just
taped
they,
and
they
then
put it.
filled it all
Yeah,
up.
it looks like they put enough sand so that they wouldn't be able to use their skateboards.
right, not entirely buried as
Yeah.
they did over there. So they've made it so they can undo what they did fairly easily. But it is a hassle enough for skateboarders so that they would be deterred not to even try.
Can you walk down towards the beach, towards the water?
Yeah.
Okay, and because I want to see what it looks like down there and see how many people are down that way. It looks like there aren't that many people out and about.
No, there aren't too many people at all. I mean, I do see a couple down there, though. There's
You
some
are
folks down there.
allowed to be out and about, right?
Yes, you are. I don't think that you're allowed to go in the water.
Okay.
But,
Okay, I understand. All right.
everybody's pretty unclear on it, though, really.
Okay, so let me get you guys down close to the water. Is the cell coverage good down there?
For me, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay,
Definitely.
good.
How about?
Yeah, you're coming through good. You're coming
okay,
through good. And then what
Which
I
is
want to
good.
do when we get back down to the beach there, I want to see the beach, and then I want to have you guys kind of pan around and just give us kind of a slow pan around. And there's
Sure.
somebody jogging in the sand a little bit.
There is, and you can see a lifeguard there right beyond the tower, the lifeguard tower.
And
There's
they're
actually
there
a
to just
truck.
kind of keep people from getting in the water.
Correct, yeah, and that looks like a
Why?
sunbather
What?
there.
Yeah. What is the rationale behind people not being able to go in the water? What?
Cops over there.
I can't put that one together at all. I mean, we've got homeless encampments just a couple blocks away from here, and they've shut down the skate park. So it doesn't make
Mm-hmm.
any logical sense to me. I mean, we're allowing the homeless to gather together,
And that's just graffiti all over the place there, right?
that's
all
just-
that stuff.
yeah,
That's,
graffiti all over the place
Gotcha.
here. Yeah,
Gotcha.
it was frowned upon at one point in time, but now it's looked at as
Art
a
form.
right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
celebrated.
Yeah. Okay.
This area of Venice, you're allowed to graffiti here, I guess. I mean, no written law stating that you can, but nobody would care.
Now,
if you did.
normally, there's somebody
Oh,
put.
wait, read that. It says, read that.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh yeah, okay.
I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it on the air
We won't
because.
say that, but yeah.
They've got the thing on the wall.
Yep.
So it's a beautiful area. Now, normally, how packed would this be? First of all, what's the weather like today?
The weather's beautiful today. I
Okay.
didn't check the temperature, but it feels like it's low 70s.
Okay, so normally, what would it be like there?
Normally, on a day like today, we'd have thousands of people out here on a day like today. This is late April. Everybody would be here. Yeah,
Now,
I know it's a weekday.
Now,
but still.
somebody is saying dirty water. The water's not dirty there, is it?
No,
Okay.
not really.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been all
okay.
over the world.
Yeah. Okay.
Most continents
Um,
I've traveled to, and I swim in this water all the time. There's no problem here. It's cold, but
Yeah.
I don't know about what you're talking about. I mean, yeah, I don't know. There's
Yeah.
some seaweed. Definitely a lot of seaweed.
Okay. All
Can
right.
be that, yeah. But no, dirty, I haven't had that issue. It is Venice Beach. I mean, yeah, this is one of the
Now,
most visited beaches in the whole world.
let-
It probably is dirtier than some
Show us
beaches.
what watch is Leslie wearing now. Let's do a watch
Leslie,
check.
yep, is wearing the her Citizen
Again.
Eco Drive.
Yeah, that looks nice.
Yeah,
I like that
good size.
dial. Is
Yeah,
that
it's a
like
really
a
nice-
mother of pearl, or what is that exactly?
It is, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Wait, let's get a different angle here. Yeah.
And just turn it a little bit. So yeah. And keep turning it around so the light. There, the light.
There you go.
Yeah, the light really hit it there. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's a very
now
nice
you
watch.
like to wear it a little bit loose, I see.
No, actually, I just think I've been, I lose a lot of weight sometimes when it just starts starting.
And it also probably depends on the temperature outside and all that kind of thing. Does
Right,
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get caught up real quick on the.
Check out how small.
Have you guys ever gone skating there? Somebody asked.
Many times.
Okay.
Yeah, I grew up skateboarding, surfing, so yeah, this is
Okay.
this is a spot I've been to, yeah, numerous times.
All right, we lost your video feed for a second.
Oh, 1 sec here, sorry.
I'm not sure. Maybe it could be the cellular. Okay. Good.
I think it was me
Okay.
and him, but okay. But yeah, I've skateboarded there many times.
Okay.
Many
Can you
times,
flip
yeah.
the camera back around so it's facing you guys?
Yep.
And have you gotten the holder for the phone yet that you ordered?
I ordered it, but it hasn't been delivered yet.
Okay,
no.
gotcha.
Amazon's been a little bit slower than the 1 day or 2 day thing. It's
Yeah.
some of their stuff's taking 3 and 4 days. That's normally a
You are going to
delivery, so-
find that it's going to be really convenient for holding that phone
Oh, I'm sure.
when you're doing a video. And
Oh, I'm sure.
and
Yeah,
then-
because I've got some stuff for my cameras, but nothing for the phone specifically.
So you have a tripod already.
I do have a tripod. Yeah, I've got a couple tripods.
So see, you'll be able to put a plate on that. Do you use Arca Swiss on your tripods?
No,
Okay.
I don't.
So whatever plates your tripod uses, if you get an extra plate, you can put it on that, right? It's got a 1/4 on the bottom, so you could put a plate on that, so you could very easily slap it onto a tripod. I use Arca Swiss, and what's neat about Arca Swiss is they make plates that are different lengths, and you can get one that's like real small that you can put on there, and then you can just throw it right on any tripod that receives Arca Swiss. It's like a standard, right? So I use Arca Swiss. I've got a L bracket on my camera that's Arca Swiss. I've got L brackets on both of my cameras that are Arca Swiss, and then I've got Arca Swiss on everything so that anything can go on there.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, as you saw, my setup was a bit crude for video streaming and things like that, but I'm trying to get a little bit better.
Now I got a question. Can you get Leslie next to you? I want to talk to both of you here.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's down.
Okay. She's down there somewhere. She's down there somewhere. Okay. So is there somewhere you guys can sit down? Is there a bench or something? Go find a nice bench where you can sit next to you. I got a serious question here.
Oh yeah.
And it's a hipster question. So you guys, since you guys are hipsters, you can answer this one. I don't very often get to talk to hipsters on Venice Beach. So
No.
Fall into that category by default since we live here.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yep.
All right. So there's two things that when you get to the bench, I'm going to ask you about.
Yep.
Okay. Maybe.
And folks, put questions in the chat. Anything that you want me to ask them while we got them live here, put those questions in the chat, because we don't know how long their battery's going to hold up, how long their connection's going to hold up. So we want to strike while we can.
Yep.
There you go.
Oh.
Live.
Here too. We've got
live from Venice Beach.
baby.
Oh, look at
skateboard
this.
here.
This is cool. Absolutely. Oh, look at that. Cool.
Yeah.
Carlos says they're not hipsters. They have an office.
Hey, that's true.
It is a.
That's
Let's
true. I got
see.
a couple offices actually, so good.
And Carlos has been there, right, to Venice Beach? He's been there, right? I think he's been there on the beach. Carlos, let us know if you've been there, that same place where they are.
All right.
Some good bars in Venice to visit. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Here's the first question. All right. And this is actually, Leslie can probably answer this one. What do you think, Leslie, about the hipster beard that Kyle's got going on there? That the beard thing. Do you think that's cool? You like that?
Actually, it's so funny you say that. You mentioned that because Kyle doesn't always have it like this. He actually changes his style of beard almost like every 5 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I think he looks cute like this. But
Okay. So what would you say is the best style that he's done? What other styles has he done? Has he done completely clean shaven? Has he done that?
Yeah, he has.
Okay. So what do you think about the clean shaven thing?
I don't know. I don't know. I think he looks cute in every single one. Face.
So you're being politically correct now all of a sudden here. Come on.
You can tell.
I don't know.
All right, so when you say he changes it, what's the other style? So we got clean shaven and we got the way he is now. What's the other style?
Just the what is this? The bottom color?
Goatee.
Just the goatee.
Okay, goatee thing. Okay.
Mustache.
So what do you think about the What do you think about the goatee thing?
It's cute.
Okay.
I don't think she has a preference.
We
I don't have
can't.
a preference.
We can't get her to commit on this. Okay. All right.
No.
We can't get her to commit on this one. I don't think she can. I was gonna shave before this, but I had some tenant issues this morning, unfortunately. Which
here's the thing.
worried.
Here's the thing. You can pull it off. Some guys can pull off. I call this the hipster look. When you Usually it's when you go 3 or 4 days without shaving, not like a week or something. But, several days without shaving, that's kind of like the hip thing these days, right? It has been for the last few years. Some guys can really pull that off, but some, I think they just look like unkept, right? But I think you pull it off.
I mean, I hope I'm not one of those.
Yeah,
but
I think.
certainly, I mean, if there were ever a big event I was going to, or if it was an important interview or something like that, I'd make sure to report to whatever it was, clean shaven, well groomed.
Oh, you think you would? You think if you were going
I
to
would.
something, you'd straight up completely shave it off?
Probably, yeah. I think I'm trying to remember the last interview that I had and what I did. I think I shaved everything off. It's hard to remember that, though. I don't know. I've been employed
It's
by the same
kind
company
of
for a
a
while.
safe, yeah. It's kind of a safe way to go, right? I mean, that's not.
It is.
That's a very neutral. I mean, nobody's going to say, "Well, why are you clean shaven?" Right?
No one's
mean-
going to say that, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No
So.
doubt about that.
All right. So let me. Okay. So here's the other question I was going to ask you guys. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about somebody having a personal brand online, like having the same handle across all the platforms and then kind of creating that as their brand? Like Brianna has, for example, Bree Fit Dance, and she's got that on Instagram, on Twitter, the .com, on YouTube. Her handles Bree Fit Dance on everything.
I would
What
recommend that.
What do you think about that concept? You think that's a
that makes sense to me. I think you're easier to find that way. I think most influencers that I'm familiar with, at least, try to
do that.
way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So your Twitter is your Facebook or what have you, YouTube. It's all the same username. It's easy to find people.
Yeah.
That
Cool.
way. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. All right.
I'm definitely of that mindset. Oh, as we're speaking, though, here's a police helicopter circling above.
Yeah, they're coming to get you. They've got a SWAT team. They're gonna come on in there. They saw you and they said he looks like a pretty tough character, so we're gonna bring our our full SWAT team in here.
That's right.
All right. Well, this is cool. I thank you all for calling in. Anything else you'd like to share before we let you guys enjoy your day?
No, I think that's about it. Unless anybody's got any other questions that need answers, specifically about Venice or anything that we can.
Where's Bret? Somebody's asking where's Bret.
He didn't make it today. I think he's in a poker tournament.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, he's probably scaring up some money then. Good.
I hope so. Yeah, he's a pretty good poker player. He spends quite a bit of time playing.
That's a really good thing to bring up, because that illustrates that even with what's going on right now, folks can be in motion and can be making some money, right? I mean, there are ways that you can, do something to rake in some cash. People that are just sitting at home all gloomy and woe is me, right? I mean, that's not positive. That's not helping. I mean, you got to figure something out. Maybe
I think that's right. Yeah.
And the other thing you can do is, like, if there's some things that you've been wanting to get, and let's assume you've got some cash setting aside somewhere, and there's some things that you've wanted to get. It's a buyer's market right now. I mean, you can make offers on things that are for sale on eBay or whatever. I mean, you can lowball some things, and you might be able to get some real deals. So there's both sides of the equation. There's getting money, and then there's what are you going to do with the money, right? And on the side of what are you going to do with the money, you might be able to get some really good buys right now. Like if somebody's been thinking about buying a home or something, right? I mean, this might be the time. If you've got some cash, this might be the time to wrangle a deal. And especially if this lockdown continues much longer, there's probably going to be some real deals out there, right?
I would say that's about right.
So people need to be in motion and just figure out what they can do to take advantage and make some moves, right? There's nothing wrong with that. In business, there's nothing wrong with taking advantage of what the heck's going on and doing things. So you guys are in motion, making things happen. Thanks for calling in. I saw the GS on wrist. That looks stunning. So let us get the dial shot of that real quick, the GS.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, I really like that piece. I mean, it's amazing that that's an entry-level piece. I mean, it looks stunning. The dial
I
is
agree.
the dial is fantastic.
I agree. This is where it starts out. This is the cheapest Grand Seiko they make.
And that is like an all-arounder. Just
Oh, look at that.
that you could easily wear that for 50 years.
I see that. Yeah. This is yeah.
I
You know,
mean,
you don't
no,
quite understand the quality until you have it on wrist.
yeah. Are they coming for you?
Now this is now the fire department. So
Oh, okay. Wow.
So much stuff going on.
Oh, that is pretty cool. I like the fire trucks coming. That's cool.
yeah.
Who
Not-
knows for what?
I
but
don't know why they're here.
Not
but
sure why, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
why not?
Well, they're probably there to support the SWAT team when the SWAT team comes down.
Yeah.
You know, they're there for support. So, all right.
backup.
And
Get cat stuck in a tree
okay,
or something.
Leon says, Kevin says stunner. Triforce Rich says, I shave 2 times a week. Don't mind a light stubble. People like it as well. Triforce Rich. And Kevin says stunner. I guess he was talking about the GS. And Leon says, I love the SB GX 261. Is that what you have, the 261?
It's the 261. I think if I remember correctly, I can't see the chat right now, but I seem to remember Leon saying he owned it and then sold it, and he upgraded to a I forget which piece he bought, but he bought something.
He
a
said
step
that
up.
he said, I hate the bracelet. I think the bracelet on yours is fine. It doesn't have micro adjustments, but if you've got it adjusted to where it's comfortable and you feel you don't really need that, that's not.
Sure.
I mean, the thing about not having the micro adjustments is that makes the bracelet more trim. It makes it more compact and more trim. So it's a trade-off. The whole thing's a
everything's a
trade-off.
trade-off.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about it a number of times on the channel. There is no such thing as the perfect watch. There's always something that you would tweak or change.
Especially when these manufacturers won't listen to us when we tell them what we want. Like I want a Submariner with the old type case, right? With the nice shaped lugs, not the super case. I want the nice classic case on a Sub. That would be great.
The classic case with maybe the ceramic bezel and perhaps, I mean, certainly the new bracelet.
Yeah,
that would be that's a guarantee.
That would be a killer watch. You know, a case more like the Cosmograph has, the Daytona. A case, more like the Yachtmaster. You know that style case. I mean, it'd be and that's also a lot trimmer, 11.7 mils thick. So I got to decline that spam call. Yeah, so you're right. Nobody makes the perfect watch. That all of them we could do a little tweaking on.
Right.
Like for example, the Yachtmaster, I wouldn't want the polished center links. Right? If I could get the Yachtmaster without the polished center links.
Yeah.
And the Yachtmaster, I think, would be stunning even with a Jubilee bracelet. I mean, that would be really wild. Really wild. So,
I like that Batgirl.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Oh yeah. The Batgirl is stunning. Yeah, I wouldn't change anything on the Batgirl. I mean, you could soften the case a little more. They did already. They softened that super case a little bit on the Batgirl and on the Pepsi.
I think about a millimeter or so only.
And on the Pepsi, but they could have done that a little more and rounded the case on the sides a little more. Again, more like the Daytona, right?
Yeah.
That would have been absolutely killer. That was Durr who owned it and sold it, says David. And Leon says SBGN009. Let's see here. And the Seagull Tudor Owners Club dropped in. The Seagulls. Let's see. Triforce Rich, there's no such thing as a perfect watch, but you better believe whatever Craig owns will be claimed to be as perfect as they come. Absolutely, yes. The 231 and the 005 are both stunners. R. Wags is in the house. Speaking of stunners, he wears an 1807 Date 8, bark finish Date 8. And he says, thanks, Kyle and Leslie, for taking us to Venice Beach, California. And Blue says, because Craig is always right. Well, there you go. What do you think, Leslie? I mean, tell the truth. What do you think? Am I always right?
I was just going to say that. Yes, I was just going to say how much I appreciate your videos. There's I don't know,
Check is in the mail.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many people my age, mine and Brianna's age, that are just so, so programmed, and it's just so hard to kind of be like, look at this in a positive way. So I'm glad that you're like posting videos and
Yeah, I think, and
giving
that's
a different perspective.
and that's what's neat is
Yeah.
the younger folks now that are full of energy, and if they just see all the opportunities that are out there and focus on, this is the thing, and Bree has this problem too, is the distractions. You know, there are too many distractions. If they just learn, there was a book I read many, many years ago about prioritizing, and he basically said you write down your A priorities, your B priorities, and your C priorities. Each day, each morning, you review that list, right? And you only focus on the A priorities. You don't even do the C priority one. Obviously, the A priority one is the most important. You get it done. Because a lot of people procrastinate. If that A thing is harder to do or whatever, they'll go ahead and do the C thing, the thing that's not as important. And that's where most people drop down, is they don't get that most important thing that they really need to get done, and then get it behind them, and then go on to the next thing. And just little things like that, my gosh, the opportunities are just amazing, you know. And and yeah, Bree just put that in the chat. It's an opportunity to focus more. There you go. And Leon says, "Go Dodgers when the season starts."
Go Dodgers.
And
I agree.
And Carlos,
I agree. Go Dodgers.
Carlos also says, "Thank you, Colin Leslie. Glad to see you can walk around and share that nice place." Yeah, and you know, the studies have shown that it's almost impossible to catch the virus when you're outside.
Yeah.
Studies have shown. Now, obviously, if you're as close as you are right now, then that's a little different. But if you're just outside walking and you're like even just 4 feet away or 5 feet away, the thing doesn't connect in that kind of scenario, right? It needs to be in a more closed environment. And it's normally you touch something and the other person touches it. That's normally how it's transmitted, is you get it on your hand and then you touch your face or whatever. It's normally not airborne. It's very hard for it to spread airborne, especially outdoors. And again, these are things that the media, of course, isn't going to tell anybody. So the last thing the last thing they should have done is close any of the parks. I mean, that's just the last thing they should do. But anyway, we're not going to talk about the thing because we got other things to talk about. But thank you very much for coming on.
Of course.
And I'm glad to see you guys are having a blast. And you're always welcome to pop in. Folks that are in motion and making things happen, we always want to hear and get updates from you guys.
Bret will be back in a few days or so,
so
we'll call in again.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you. Anything you want to say before we let you go?
Well, no perfect watch, but the date's as close as it gets.
For an
leave it at that.
For an all-arounder, no doubt. I mean, because that watch.
I mean, if I could just own one watch, I'd just buy that. You wouldn't need any other watch.
You could wear it anywhere.
At a screen drive, you would never need to buy another watch ever again.
Well, you know, somebody asked me about the grab and go. Was it yesterday or the day before? Anyway, we were talking about if the house was on fire and what watch you're going to grab and go. And I've given a little more thought, and I think it might be the 231 diver, because with this, if I had to disappear somewhere where I didn't have access to batteries, right?
Right.
And let's say I had to really go off the grid for like 5 years or 10 years or something, I don't have to worry about anything with this.
No.
And whereas with the 9F, after 3 years, I have to figure out the battery thing. So that would be.
I already know I'm going to be sitting on an exotic beach and my watch is going to die.
See, that's going to be the thing. So absolutely.
There's going to be nobody around that I trust to open the case.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in a foreign country, weird people.
Yeah.
And that is the one problem.
Do you know how much warning it gives? I know it starts skipping seconds.
No, I know. I didn't even know about that until you mentioned that on the channel.
Yeah, it starts skipping. I think it might be a month or two warning it gives you. Can anybody let us know in the chat how long the warning that the 9F gives when the battery's low? That'd be interesting to know that information, because I haven't gone through it yet, so I don't know.
Right.
Um,
Right. So
so
your gold watch never died.
no.
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 Never
So
died. Yeah.
I didn't fool with it. So yeah, okay, let's see if we got anything else here. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity, says Chi-Town. And a couple of people saying go
There you go.
tribe.
Yep.
And Brief Fit Dance says have a nice day. Absolutely. And let's see, need Chief Wahoo back. Okay, who's
I
Chief?
agree.
Okay.
Who said that? That
Blue.
is the best comment that we have ever had. They forced a change on the Cleveland Indians logo,
Oh.
and that has just, I mean, their new logo is disgusting. It's just a big block letter C. What are they thinking? That was an iconic logo.
They're trying
I'm of
to.
Irish descent, and I don't take any offense to the Boston Celtics logo,
Yeah, they're
which is a dancing leprechaun.
yeah, they're trying to do the same with
Good
the
Lord.
Redskins, right? They're trying to get them to
Horrible.
change that whole thing. Yeah.
This is history. These are our teams here.
Yeah, they changed
Ridiculous.
they changed also. They took away the Indian woman on the butter.
Oh,
I
the
forgot
Land of Lakes butter.
Land of Lakes butter
The
too.
Indian is no longer on Land of Lakes butter.
Oh,
If you ever
gee.
purchase that brand,
Oh,
take a look
gee.
at that.
That-
You almost wouldn't notice it in the grocery store till you look this up, but all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait a second. Yeah, that native lady's not on there anymore. She always was.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's sad. And
Ultra
somebody says
sensitive,
love
ridiculous.
the BMW M hat. Somebody
Oh,
says.
thank you.
And that was
Yeah,
from
it's a good hat. I got it at Beverly Hills BMW
that was
for free.
That was there. You go. What
Yep.
did you buy a car from them?
No, I had a warranty thing on my
Okay.
car, so I had to
Okay.
take it to them. I didn't buy my car from them,
Okay.
but I had a warranty issue that they needed to service for free, and they Ubered me to my house when they were working on the car. But
Mhm.
when it came time to go pick the car up, they were unwilling to pay for my ride back to get my car. So I just complained about that when I got there, and they said pick something out of the boutique.
Oh, cool. Well, that's okay.
Yeah.
They made you whole. All right, couple
Yeah,
more
I was fine
comments.
with it. I had to pay for my ride back on
Yeah.
on a repair that I never thought I would need to do. But
Yeah. All right,
yeah,
so
I got a free hat out of it.
couple more
$25.
quick comments. Stig says, you too to Lady Brianna. And David Williams says, the 9F will start skipping seconds as a signal to change the battery. Yes, we know that, David, but we want to know how long will it skip?
Right.
How long can we be on the island without a
Yes.
battery with it skipping?
Right.
And
I mean, if it's a 3-day thing, then
yeah, that's
I'm concerned.
that's different than a month, right?
If it's a month, there's no issue at all.
It depends on how long you're going to be on the island.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I don't usually go on vacation for longer than a few weeks, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it now. I don't have much to do until July, so
Well, yeah, and the rates are low, right?
rates are low. We'll have to see when.
Triforce Rich says, I have a BMW M hat as well. Ask Craig how he feels about MS. What's M?
M's, probably M's.
Oh, okay. Oh, the M
I don't think
series.
he's talking about multiple
The M
sclerosis, I
series.
hope not.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
M series.
I
M
mean, if
series.
you're going to get something like that, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't want one out of warranty period personally, but that's just me. Plant-based MD Redskins was given to the skins of natives that were scalped. Okay. Let's see. The Chi-Town. They're also trying to get rid of San Diego State University Aztecs mascot. Okay.
Are they?
Yep.
Going after everybody.
Wow.
Let's see. Just see if there's anything else here.
Like I said, of Irish descent,
yeah.
don't take offense to the Boston Celtics logo.
Yeah, and there are some Irishman things in here. Okay, well, we're going to let you guys go because this will just go on and on.
I know.
So enjoy the rest of your day, and like I say, you're always welcome to call into the show.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Take care,
Yep.
you two.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Absolutely, just like that. That's how they call in from from Venice Beach, live from Venice Beach. And I guess Brianna's gone. I guess she's gone, so she's probably not going to call in. But if she's hanging around, she can call in too. Let's see what else we got up here. Let's have I have a solution. Get rid of all the racial animosity in sports. We need a team called the White Boys and put a middle-aged fat accountant as the mascot. There you go. Let's see. In cartoon form, of course. To be fair, Irishmen did create the Boston Celtics and Notre Dame Fighting Irish mascots. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, but those are mythical creatures, not actual Irishmen. Okay. R. Wag says, Kyle, when you're young and feisty, you buy a Beamer. As you get older and wiser, you buy a Lexus. There you go. Yeah, a Lexus LS sedan. Triforce Rich, you're telling me that leprechauns don't exist. Oh, by the way, somebody asked me the other day what podcasts I listen to, and I was listening to a couple of good ones here recently. And let me tell you, I definitely recommend the What Bitcoin Did podcast, okay, with Peter McCormick. I definitely recommend you listen to the most recent one. And actually, a lot of his podcasts are definitely worth listening to. He's a good interviewer. Of course, Dave Ramsey, we've talked about that. I don't listen to his all the time because they're pretty much all the same, but I do listen to him sometimes. Let's see. And I'll tell you one that is well produced, that is the Nutrition Diva, is one that's short and sweet and well produced. I like Pomp's podcast. That's Anthony Pompolano, or whatever the heck his name is. Anyway, his thing is good. Let's see what else here. Got a bunch of Dave Ramsey ones in here. He does 3 every day. Let me see which other ones here I want to point out. Of course, we've talked about Ben Shapiro, right? Ben Shapiro, his podcast. Let's see what else is worth the trouble. The editors. Where is it? How come I can't find it? Here it is. The editors. That's a National Review, their podcast. And I do listen to Fox News Sunday. He puts that out every Sunday. They put out the whole show, Fox News Sunday. So there's definitely some podcasts that I think you guys might get something out of. And by the way, Bitcoin, the halving's coming up in something like 20 days? And so it's going to be getting interesting here, folks. Things are going to be getting interesting. And don't expect a spike up. As a matter of fact, there could be a sell-off. We could have another leg down at some point, maybe even right after the halving. So in the past, there's usually been a little bit of a sell down after the halving, and then it starts going back up, and then about a year or so after the halving, sometimes that's when things start getting really interesting. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this time. It looks like Bitcoin's at about 6,900. It was up over 7,000, and then it pulled back here recently. But I think it didn't pull back quite as much in the last 2 days or so as the stock market did, if you take both days together. Let's see what else we got here. With Lexus happens to me something simpler. GS, I appreciate the quality and seems good value, but do not ignite my Any lust on me? Okay. Have you looked at the LS sedan? Have you looked at that one? Carlos is a European elitist who wouldn't be caught dead with a Japanese luxury good. Old world mentality. Even in Japan, lots of Japanese prefer European cars and watches. Lexus is a joke there. There you go, Triforce Rich. Yeah, some people just want that name. They just want that name. They want to go along with the program. And I understand that. I get that. I wore Rolexes for years. For decades, I wore them. So, of course I get that. Carlos gets to be my age. He'll probably, do an about face and go Grand Seiko and Lexus. Most of you guys, when you get to be my age, you'll get there. Lease the Beamer and Benz, buy the Lexus. There you go. I do not think I'm elitist. Personally, I might have a Lexus in my future. I like having no hassles, but yeah, they don't have the magic of M-Series BMW, but not the pains either. There you go. Absolutely. Just drive them. Just turn the key and go. Of course, I was just kidding for the most part. Craig, what about audiobooks? I find that I get enough out of the podcasts that I listen to that I don't have to buy audiobooks, and I'm kind of a cheapskate. And so most of the podcasts I listen to have very limited commercials, and when the commercials do come on, I can skip through them. I just hit the little skip button. That's what's neat about this app. I use the Pocket Casts app. Okay? And so, for example, if I was listening to this podcast right now, if I'm listening to it, I can just hit this button right here, and I can skip 45 seconds forward, right? And this one goes 10 seconds back, right? So I can very easily skip through the commercials. Just hit that, and once you learn about how long their commercials are, you know how many times you need to tap the 45-second skip button. So, it's real easy to skip through them. He usually has the same sponsors all the time, so I don't need to listen to the whole commercial. I know the sponsors. So, so it's a really handy thing, and it gets the job done for me. So I listen to them when I'm walking, about 2 hours a day usually. I'm out walking about, and sometimes I'll make some phone calls while I'm walking too, talk to my dad or whatever. So yeah. Trust me, Chi, I know I had a Mercedes and BMW before my Toyota. Lexus is simply a better made, more durable product. European brands don't stir my soul when they're leaking fluids all over my driveway. And Stig says, I saw a Chrysler Imperial once. It was fast, it was smooth, and there were 5 cigarette lighters and 5 ashtrays as well. Yeah, I hear you. The thing with Rolex is that I can always sell it anytime, anywhere. Well, if you need to be selling your watch, if that's a concern for you, I would recommend that you probably shouldn't have bought the watch in the first place. It sounds like you kind of stretched to buy that watch, and I would recommend that you invest that money or put it towards some debts or other things. I mean, I hear this argument from people, yeah, well, I can always sell the watch. Well, it's not easy to sell those watches, and watches are not good investments. So if you're looking at the watch as an investment or a store of value, I would suggest that you use something that would be more appropriate for that and not use the watch. Watch is a luxury item that you should buy to enjoy and wear, and should not be thought of as an investment. Just my personal opinion, and I'm, of course, always right, as we got confirmed again today when Leslie was so kind as to confirm that. Lexus is one of the best brands on the market, says Lance. I really do not care much about cars. The only one that really put a smile on my face is convertible Mini. I had one in Spain, and I have one in San Diego. I agree. The Mini is cool. Cool. Little convertibles are always fun. I always used to have convertibles. I don't have them now, but I always used to have convertibles for many, many years. I enjoyed them. The last one I had was a Mazda Miata convertible, 1990, and it was a lot of fun. My family made the horrible mistake of buying an E46 3 Series, most unreliable junk heap we've ever owned, G-Town. All right, I think we have done it. It's almost an hour, almost an hour of live broadcasting with a stupendous, superlative report live from Venice Beach. You couldn't have asked for a more stunning live report from Venice Beach with two young folks that are out making things happen in one of the most beautiful places on earth, Venice Beach. How can you beat that? And they're there just having a great time in a time of as a lot of people talk about uncertainty. Well, I think one thing is certain is life is good, and we are going to take full advantage of every day that we have. We're not going to cower in the corner and wait for things to happen to us. We're going to make things happen. And that's what we do. That's all we do. And speaking of making things happen, I think I'm going to buy some more Bitcoin, but that's a whole nother thing. I'm adding to my stash of Bitcoin. Greg is in the house and he says buy. Okay, there you go. All right, folks, let me know in the chat if you have any last minute questions, because I'm getting ready to wrap this puppy up. Wrap it up, and then I'm going to get something to eat. And Arwag says thanks. Enjoy your dinner. I will do that, and you do the same. Hope you guys enjoyed the live broadcast. I know as soon as I end this, there's going to be another question in here. Oh, Craig, just sent you a photo of the Seiko. What do you think? Okay. All right, let's check that out. You just got in just under the wire there on that one. It's just getting ready to hit end. Here's the Seiko. Wow, this looks pretty cool. Oh, I like that case. I like that. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not usually a Roman numeral fan, but that is kind of cool. I like the hour hand. I really like the shape of those lugs, that case. I wonder what size that is. I wonder what the size is. Let me know in the chat what the size of that puppy is. That is stunning. I like it. That could be an all-arounder too. That's like a kind of a cross between a little bit sporty and could be used as a dress piece. And I'd like to know how thick it is too. That is very interesting. Very interesting. Now, I used to say that I'm an expat, not a lot of Spanish flag stuff now, and I am abroad, okay? And She-Town says later, folks. And I'm going to wait for a little more information on this Seiko Presage, and then we're going to wrap this puppy up. And Carlos says, nice watch. 40 millimeter case, okay. So it's a decent size. I mean, it's not small by any means. So I don't remember, Lance, what your wrist size is. But, I would say you probably want at least a 7 1/4 inch wrist to rock that one, because that's a decent size to it. It's not a small one. 12.4 millimeters thick. So yeah, it's reasonably thin then. Absolutely. And by the way, if you're going to pick one of those up, give Steve a shot. Let him throw his hat in the ring, because Steve is, I think, can get a Presage. Craig, where the ships descend from? Some of them are from England and some of them from Scotland. I've got some English and some Scottish. That's why we're a little bit cheap sometimes. Let's see. And we used to have a reunion every year, McKay, on my mother's side. My grandmother, my dad's mother, her maiden name was McKay. And they were from Scotland. So, yeah, that's how that all works. I like the hands, especially the second hand with the crescent. Yeah, I do like that. I absolutely like that crescent. At the beginning of the show, Craig mentioned that there is quite a misinformation in the watch community is certainly it is certainly a matter to take up again. Absolutely, Stig. We can talk about that, and you guys can always bring up things in the chat that you want me to comment on about something you've heard somewhere, or something you want clarification on. Absolutely, we always try to. One of the things about this channel is we try to call it like it is. We try to give the straight skinny, and we are not. We're not beholden to anyone. We call it the way we see it, and you know, like some channels, you know, they're trying to sell watches, and so obviously every watch they have is like gorgeous and is like the watch you should get and all this, and I'm not like that. If I see a watch, you know, even my buddy Steve, he's got a watch in stock, and somebody asks me, hey, should I buy this watch? If I don't think they should buy that watch, I'll tell them. I'll say, no, it's an ugly watch. I mean, Steve even has some ugly watches there. I mean, so I will call it the way I see it. And even some Grand Seikos, I will tell people, no, that's not the one you want. You want this one instead, right? And I'll try to help them out, because I've made mistakes. I've bought the wrong watch in the past and regretted it, right? So I don't want other people to make that mistake. All right, folks, on that note, we're going to wrap this puppy up. Click subscribe and click the bell so that you get a notification next time. Thanks for watching.